The hallway is empty. The cameras are watching. Then something invisible grabs a person by the throat and drags them backward across the floor. That same night, across town, a skeletal figure with limbs too long stands in someone's doorway and vanishes in a flash of light. These aren't horror movies or clever edits. They're security camera recordings that have left investigators silent and viewers shaken. What you're about to see will make you question whether the cameras protecting your home are recording you or something that's been there all along. A lone figure walks through an empty hallway, footsteps echoing against polished floor and fluorescent hum. Then violent backward motion. Something unseen yanks them hard, slamming them down. They thrash against invisible grip, struggling across reflective tile before scrambling upright and sprinting. Some argue simple wire pull effects explain everything. Others point to the shadow flicker caught mid-fall, too brief and formless to stage convincingly. Personally, what unsettles me isn't the attack itself. It's how the figure runs immediately toward escape, as if they knew exactly what had them. If something can overpower you without warning in broad fluorescent light, what stops it from following you home? The footage appears to be recorded by a security camera, monitoring a quiet plaza around 4 a.m. Two people are crossing the empty space when one of them suddenly collapses without warning. No stumble, no gradual fall, just an instant loss of control. What disturbs me most is the violence of it. Their body jerks unnaturally before hitting the pavement. Some viewers insist it's staged, pointing to the convenient camera angle. Others argue the reaction looks too spontaneous, too physical to fake convincingly. If something invisible can drop a person that fast, what stops it from choosing anyone? A white, glowing object darts erratically across a suburban lawn. Its jerky flight path captured by a residential security camera at night. The homeowner reviewing the footage later noticed something unsettling. The movement seemed too controlled, almost deliberate before vanishing. Online, some dismissed it as an overexposed moth under infrared light, while others questioned why it maintained such a low, focused trajectory. Personally, what disturbs me is the precision. If this is just an insect caught mid-flight, why does its path feel less random and more intentional, like something searching? A concrete entryway that should feel safe becomes a stage for something impossible. A tall, skeletal figure moves slowly across the camera's view, its proportions disturbingly wrong. Limbs too long, body too thin. Then, without warning, a flash erupts and the figure vanishes entirely, leaving only empty stone behind. Skeptics immediately called it digital effects, pointing to the convenient timing and dramatic light. But others noticed the figure's strange gait before disappearing, asking why a hoaxer would include such uncanny movement if fabrication was the goal. What unsettles me most is the implication. If something can materialize in your doorway and leave without a trace, how often does it happen unrecorded? Under black and white night footage of what looks like a quiet residential parking lot, tension rises without warning. a hooded figure emerges from between parked cars, hunched low, pressing against the driver's door of a dark SUV. What unsettles me most isn't the act itself. It's how deliberately they move. No panic, no hesitation. Skeptics might say it's just a neighbor checking their own car. But why the crouch? Why that late-hour stillness? If someone operates that comfortably in darkness, what else happens when no one's watching? Late at night, a Ring doorbell camera activated in front of a quiet suburban home. Then this happened. An alien-like figure walked calmly past the front of the house, moving near a parked black car, as if it had done it before. Its posture appeared slightly unusual, almost too smooth, too steady. In the background, a faint stumbling sound could be heard, subtle but unsettling against the silence of the night. There were no neighbors outside, no visible source for the noise. Some viewers insist it was simply a person in unusual clothing, while others argue the movement felt unnatural. When the streets are empty and cameras catch shapes like this, it makes you wonder who is really walking past our homes after midnight. A homeowner's security camera captures the front yard on a still October night, porch lit by infrared glow, Halloween decorations motionless in frame. Beyond the truck, a tall white figure stands in complete silence for 15 seconds, shaped like someone draped in flowing fabric, before vanishing instantly. 5 seconds later, it reappears in the exact same spot without transition, as if edited back into reality. Personally, what unsettles me isn't the appearance, it's the precision. If something can materialize twice in identical positioning, that suggests intention, not random manifestation. It knows exactly where it wants to be seen. What makes this footage unsettling isn't the object itself, but the complete absence of reaction around it. A museum visitor casually films what appears to be an unexploded ordnance display, while two women discuss military IDs in the background, their voices light and unbothered. The cylindrical casing rests inches above scattered personal effects. Keys, buckles, fragments of lives interrupted. Some viewers insist it's deactivated standard museum protocol. Others question why it's displayed so openly, so close to public walkways. Personally, the mundane conversation overlaying potential danger creates cognitive dissonance. If something this powerful can sit unacknowledged in broad daylight, what else do we walk past without noticing? From an upstairs window late at night, someone films their neighbor's lit window across the yard, and what moves inside freezes them.
Yeah, but do you see that in the window?
A tall, hooded figure glides back and forth behind the glass, slow, deliberate, unnaturally smooth. It crouches once, then rises again, continuing its pacing ritual. The filmer whispers barely audible words, too terrified to speak louder. Online, skeptics claim staged performance art, but believers point to one detail: the figure never acknowledges the world outside that window. If something can move through a home that methodically, completely unaware it's being watched, what does that say about how long it's been there? A homeowner reviewing their security camera footage after dawn noticed something unsettling in the pre-dawn recording. The camera captured their front yard blanketed in thick fog at an unusually low height, hovering just above the grass like something heavy and deliberate. What disturbs viewers most is the mist's behavior. It doesn't drift or dissipate naturally. Some claim it's just temperature inversion creating ground fog, a common atmospheric effect. Others argue the density and uniformity suggest something was moving through the yard, displacing air as it passed. If fog can pool this unnaturally still, what could create that kind of disturbance without appearing on camera? In the early hours of the morning, an infrared security camera quietly recorded a long, empty hotel hallway. Then this appeared. A transparent, human-shaped figure suddenly glided past the closed doors, moving with eerie calm as if it belonged there. No guests were present. No staff walked the corridor. No sound accompanied the motion, only the silent sweep of a pale outline drifting across the frame. The camera angle showed the hallway clearly, leaving little room for confusion. Some viewers believe it was a reflection or camera glitch, while others insist the movement felt too deliberate. Footage like this always leaves one lingering thought. What exactly walks hotel corridors when everyone else is asleep? A living room camera that once captured ordinary mornings suddenly recorded something impossible.
Forward, please. Facing forward. Thank you. That's what I like. Thank you. That's what I like. Everybody, hang on. Oh, is everybody okay? Kids!
The bus driver was mid-sentence when every child vanished. Not exited, vanished, leaving their backpacks tumbling into empty aisles. What unnerves me most is the pattern. Churchgoers mid-worship, a cyclist ahead on the trail, a woman handing over her license. All gone in identical flickers, clothes left behind like shed skin. Skeptics claim editing tricks, but others note the body cam timestamp matches global reports of mass disappearances. If people can simply blink out of existence mid-conversation, what separated those taken from those left, staring at empty seats? The street sits empty under gray daylight, nothing but a swaying tree and distant parked cars breaking the stillness. Then comes the sound. A wailing, siren-like shriek cycles through the air, Too synthetic to be human, too resonant to be mechanical. A silhouette briefly appears at the frame's edge before vanishing. What stands out to me is the contradiction, the visual peace versus the auditory chaos. Some claim it's hoaxed audio layered over footage. Others point to similar reports of unexplained neighborhood screams. If something can emit this sound in broad daylight while remaining unseen, what does that say about its confidence? This footage disturbed thousands of viewers because it captures something profoundly wrong in an utterly ordinary setting. A security camera in a standard parking garage records a black SUV backing out of its space and driving away completely smoothly, except no driver is visible through the windows. Skeptics immediately pointed to tinted glass or camera angle, but others noted the vehicle's movements are too precise, too controlled. Personally, what unsettles me isn't whether someone's hidden inside. It's how the car navigates exactly like it's being driven with full awareness, suggesting something operates it with complete confidence. The infrared hum of a backyard camera captures motionless grass until something impossibly tall unfolds in the center of the frame. A homeowner's dog freezes, watching the spindly figure shift its weight with jerking, insect-like precision. When the dog finally charges, barking wildly, the creature doesn't flee on foot. It crouches and launches itself upward in a single explosive leap, vanishing into darkness above the roofline. What unsettles me most is the dog's reaction afterward. It simply stares upward, tail wagging, as if whatever just left wasn't a threat, but something it recognized. If it knew what that thing was, why didn't it follow? What disturbs me most isn't the figure itself, but its calculated timing. It waits for the dog to howl before acting, as if provoked by sound. Two stray dogs occupy an empty playground at night, one howling skyward when a pale entity with matted hair emerges from behind a slide. It grabs a swing chain, yanks it back with unnatural force, and releases it directly into the howling animal, knocking it sideways. Online reactions split sharply. Some insist it's obvious CGI given the figure's jerky movements, while others point to how both dogs react. The struck one tumbles, the second flinches, suggesting something genuinely startled them. A gas station sits under cold fluorescent light somewhere off a remote highway. Two cows standing idle by the pumps, while a stray dog lingers nearby. Then a low, mournful wail cuts through the silence. Without warning, something tall and impossibly thin tears across the frame in a hunched sprint, moving with a gait no human should have. It collides with the dog in a frantic blur before vanishing between the pumps. What unnerves me most is the speed. Predatory, deliberate. Some claim it's staged, but the dog's panicked scramble feels visceral. If something that fast hunts at gas stations, where else does it wait? A homeowner reviewing their security footage noticed something disturbing recorded just after midnight. The camera captures a small figure in a nightgown, walking calmly across the front lawn, before stopping abruptly. What happens next divides viewers completely. The figure raises one arm, points deliberately toward the street, then vanishes instantly with stems falling from the tree. Skeptics insist it's a simple editing trick, a child removed frame by frame. But others point to the audio. That bone-snapping sound occurs exactly when the figure disappears. If this was staged, why add that specific detail? A bicycle leans motionless against a house before tipping over with no one near it. Metal clattering across dirt in an empty yard under strange greenish night sky. Two seconds later, a deafening boom tears through the silence as blinding light floods the camera, erasing everything in searing brightness. From my perspective, what's most unsettling isn't the flash. It's the bicycle falling first, as if something invisible passed through moments before impact. Some claim it's lightning, but others noted the object moved before any sound arrived. If a shockwave can tip metal silently, what else moves through that yard undetected?